Okay, here we go. Here is a video which I'm not prepared at all, but we'll just chat about some things that I've been up to because I've been extremely busy. So I'm doing a free workshop tomorrow. Starts tomorrow. It's 3 days. It's tomorrow 6 to 7 p.m. UK time, and then Monday 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. and then Thursday again 6 to 7 p.m. Free workshop. Link in the description. If you're watching tonight or tomorrow, get in there. You can register for it and join. It'll be on Zoom. It's going to be like a practical workshop. So the first session is on sound design. I'm going to, by the way, the workshop is called Develop Your Own Unique Sound Signature. So it's for electronic music makers who want to hone a sound of their own more than what they have now, which is something I feel everyone should do who's making music. You should sound like yourself. It's hard. It takes time. You know, we're all working at it as hard as we can. I do believe, genuinely, I believe the more you work, the more you're able to sound like yourself. The more work that goes into it. I don't think anybody just goes into a studio and presses some buttons and a track comes out and sounds like them. No. Blauen, talking to Zane Lowe, did you watch that interview? He says he's a studio hermit. He just goes in there all the time. He's spent so much time in the studio. You know, he's made albums and albums and albums, like loads of albums. They haven't all come out. He's made loads of music, hasn't released it. When you release an album, when I release an album, how many albums worth of material do we make? I'll tell you how much I make. I make one album worth of material. I might have some extra tracks that didn't make it, but I'm not doing like 10 albums and then releasing one album, you know? So like, you know, that's why I'm not Blauen. But also I have been doing, I've been doing a more like slow and steady burn type of thing. I haven't gone intensely into the studio for like 2 weeks, you know, in a while. But I would love to do that again if I could organize my life in such a way. But anyway, I'm doing that. I'm doing a different kind of approach. I'm doing a slow and steady. I make music a little bit often, you know, over a really long period of time. Over 30 years I've been doing that. So actually, you know, 30 years ago I was doing it. I was a teenager. I was doing it like constantly all night for, you know, massive amounts. But as I got older, the time wasn't really there after work and all that. But I do still keep in it whenever I can. So a little bit here, a little bit there over many years. So I keep pushing forward, you know, that's the important thing. You keep pushing forward. So I'm doing this workshop, Develop Your Own Unique Sound Signature. So we'll be doing the first night, tomorrow night, we'll be doing sound design. I'll show you one approach to sound design that I like for making beats and other sounds. On Monday night, we'll look at synthesis, making bass sounds, making pads, making leads, synthesizing them with your own tools. You can use free plugins, you can use stock plugins, whatever you want. And then the other night is mix engineering. I'll run you through how I do it. Very important. You know, I've come across a few people now lately who tell me that they're paying a mix engineer to mix their stuff. Mixed feelings about that, you know. Why, first of all, it could be in one case, I asked someone, why did you pay someone to mix your track? Oh, it would have taken me too long. It would have taken me ages. So you save time. But the result, is it really what you want? In that case of that person I was asking, I did not think that it sounded as good as it should. And I looked up that mix engineer that they used and I listened to the other stuff and it really didn't, and none of it sounded really great to me. When it comes to mix engineering, it's, there's objective things that need to be there. If you're paying a mix engineer to mix your stuff, like, they better be really good at mixing the type of music you're making. The ones who are really good are probably more expensive. You could pay Ed DMX to mix your thing. You could pay Ben Pest. You could, it's going to sound good, objectively good if they do it, but it will cost money. But anyway, though, in the long run, you're just robbing yourself of the ability to make your music sound the way you want. Okay, if you're in a band, for sure, it's really hard to mix acoustic instruments. Get a really good mix engineer to mix your stuff. If you're making electronic music, my opinion is learn to mix your music yourself. Make it sound the way you want. It doesn't matter if the mix isn't objectively great, as long as the musical ideas are there. Square Push's early stuff, even Apex's early stuff, is just basic. The production isn't what made it amazing. I disagree with some people about, take for example Selected Ambient Works Volume 1, or it's not called Volume 1, it's called 85 to 92. That record is not like really well produced in the sense of production. The production on it it's just basically the elements are recorded and mixed together in a basic way. The great thing about the album is the musical ideas in the album, what the choices of the elements and what they're doing and the layering of them. That makes it a classic album that people have loved for 30 years. It's not the production, but later on Aphex got better at producing with every record, and Drux is like mind-blowing, and Cyro is like the pinnacle of music production, and the things he released since then, and the Tuss stuff, But all the time Aphex got better, he didn't sacrifice the musical ideas for production. If I listen to, say, Skrillex, he's able to produce, but the musical ideas wouldn't really be my cup of tea. Or Dead Mouse, however you say that. But stuff like that is highly rated in terms of production, but the musical ideas aren't really that great, according to me. That's just my opinion. It's just not, It's the same with jazz. You got your people that you really like. Well, when you're listening to jazz, you're listening to musical ideas first and foremost, but then the tone of the instrument is like the production. You got, if you're playing good musical ideas but your tone sucks, like, you're not making it as a jazz musician. So all the greats, Coltrane, Miles Davis, Charlie Parker, they all had incredible command of their instrument to create a tone. Listen to Miles on Someday My Prince Will Come. That album was incredible, what his horn sounds like. So that's a bit like, what we have to do. We've got the craft of production and mixing. These things just take hard graft, time, learning, getting better, training your ears, and over time you get better. And then that's one side of it, and then the musical ideas is another side of it, which also takes time and also takes just inspiration, getting the flow, getting your mind in the right state. A lot of what I'll talk about on the workshop is actually, some skills, some technique stuff, some technical things, but I'm not hugely technical producer myself. I just do the basic things that I know how to do and concentrate on my musical ideas. That's what I do. And to get good musical ideas, where do those come from? They come from, like Blauen said in that interview, would say, no, they come from somewhere else. You can't, he has to be in the studio a lot to get in that zone, to see what happens, to experiment, to express emotion, and then, things happen. So we have to get ourselves into a state where we can create, not just, okay, at first you're learning, it can be frustrating, things are slow, you're kind of hitting your head off walls and stuff, but once you can make music without thinking too much about the stuff that you're doing, then you can start getting in the flow and letting ideas flow. That is very enjoyable. If you're enjoying it, you'll do it more. If you do it more, you'll get better. If you get it better, you'll enjoy it even more. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, a good cycle. We want to get into that. And I do have 6 places coming up next month on a mentorship course, a 10-month mentorship that I run. The first one has been started in September, October the 2nd. So now November. If you want to be part of a group of 6 people who are working with me weekly to get better at this stuff, not just technical details, but more the mental side of it, how to actually make the space in your life. I've got some techniques for it that will help you to go weekly better and better and better over 10 months. If you're interested in that, just drop a comment under here saying, yes, I'm interested, and I'll send you a link. All right, that's the video for today. So also, I did get a viral video on TikTok after all these posts. The one of me playing the circle guitar, which you may or may not have seen at Brastronica, has gone super viral for me anyways, like over 500 million, not 500 million, sorry, over 500,000, 500,000 plays on TikTok. There you go. I don't know. More people have heard of me now, but they'll probably forget me as soon as they watch that. I don't know. But anyway, it's pretty decent. Pretty happy to get the numbers. And I've got more than 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube. Happy days. Thanks everyone for subscribing, and stay tuned for another video soon. I'm going to do one that's more track analysis or whatever. Drop in the comments if you have a track for me you want me to do. Cheers. See ya.